8.5 games back out of the division. There's no signs of life or changing, really, in my opinion. So we looked at each other and said they have until the All-Star break, July 11th, because the trade deadline is July 31st. So 2 weeks into July, they have until the All-Star break. There's no waiver wire trade anymore. July 31st, you're either buying or you're selling. This is a real conversation.
Yeah.
There's not a 3 weeks ago, I think if we were trying to do this, there'd be people who say, oh, come on. This is a real conversation.
Yeah.
The Yankees players have 25 games, I counted them, until July 11th, to let Cashman know if he's buying or selling at the deadline. And Aaron Boone and his coaching staff have 25 games to figure out if they're going to be managing the Yankees next season or not. Because if they sell, then you can't. You can't. You cannot run back the same thing.
And that's
a team that's supposed to win the division, have the second highest payroll in baseball, have all the talent, have all these guys. If they have to sell,
right,
you can't run back the same regime, and you can't run back a lot of the players. So there's 25 games until the All-Star break, and they have 25 games to figure out if they're buyers or sellers, and they would have to go on a hell of a run, like 15-10. Maybe that's not even enough. I don't know. 17 and I don't know. 15-10, maybe that's enough. But they have 25 games. I think everyone that's part of this team has 25 games. Obviously, Stanton, Judge, Cole, there's 5 to 10 guys that ain't going nowhere. But bullpen, you better hope these guys start hitting if you like the daycare, because Britton, Chad, Chapman, if you're selling, you guys are the only sellable pieces. And that sucks. I like those guys. So, 25 games. Clock starts right now.
I mean, Cashman is going to be right in sight for that, too. I mean, a lot of people are going to have a good argument for that with this payroll and what this team is supposed to be. So this team needs a shakeup. And and we said this weeks ago, and I don't know if it's firing a coach. I don't know if it's a trade. I don't know if it's promoting guys. I mean, insane. We got one Stanton at bat this series after he was the hottest hitter ever. But
maybe that was a bad decision from the jump. Maybe you look at, we decided at the start of the season that the first half of the season doesn't matter, and we decided Stanton wasn't going to play the outfield and that we could have ultimate unlimited rest days for him. I mean, if you're forced to, you're 8.5 games back and you got 25 games to figure out if you're buying or selling, even if you end up going on a run, which, again, I don't think is likely or in the realms of possibility for this team. So I'm on the pessimistic side, and a lot of people refer to me as one of the more optimistic Yankee fans they follow. So that's pretty bad. But maybe you look at all the decisions leading up to how the team is run. When they're on a hot streak and they fucking straight up punt 3 games in Detroit, would those 3 games be nice now? You'd be 4 games over 500? Those were winnable games against the Detroit team that didn't care, and you threw out bad lineups and pitchers that you didn't give a shit about, and you told Stanton from the jump not even to try the outfield, and then you slow-rolled him and don't play him, and then you sit him and you don't play him, and now you can't play. Now you got nothing out of Stanton. Like, there's a lot of decisions from the jump that, I mean, and we questioned them then, so it's not like I'm backtracking. We were like, we didn't hammer him then, but we questioned him. 10 mil to Kluber, and now we're ready to figure out our fate. If we're traders or sellers, we got 25 games on the clock, and all these choices. I hope they're taking inventory of how they are running rest and lineup and all this shit, because it's a problem.
Stanton has to play a game in left field. Guess what? He's not going to be worse defensively than our other left fielders, and that's where, again, we always wonder where these decisions are coming from. If I'm Aaron Boone and I think my, reputation / career is on the line, I probably want to play Stanton in left field. So it feels like that decision's not coming from him. And you assume, with Giancarlo Stanton being a, world-class competitor, that he's willing to play left field. So that's clearly coming from up top, which, I did the last 100 games. The Yankees are 52-48. And how about you just, cut the shit with the 3-hole and that kind of stuff. Like, Miguel Andujar and Gary Sanchez have been hitting the cover off the ball. And you put Rugi Odor in the 3 slot today? A guy who got pinch hit after homering the previous game, as you well noted on the Instagram pregame show on the weekend, Jim. I don't know, man. A lot of it kind of doesn't add up.